Today I come bearing grave news because Chamber is back. And no, he won't quite be as meta as he used to be, but he will be back. And he will be back on one particular map, in my opinion, and that is Bind. Now, for those of you who didn't watch the video yesterday, one, why didn't you? And two, this is the meta on Bind right now, and basically Bind has 3 agents that get picked a lot in Viper, Sky, and Raze, and then basically most teams are picking one of Brim or Harbor for that controller slot, and then basically the 5th slot is kind of open between quite a few different options overall, and this is what I think will happen, where Chamber will become the leader for that 5th slot. Now the thing is, we've already seen teams such as Loud here play Chamber on Bind, and then NRG were another example who later on in Master Tokyo also pivoted away from Sage and towards Chamber. And then in the grand final, EG also went and played Chamber against Fnatic, and so you could see that there were already some teams starting to pick up the Chamber on Bind. And the thing is, they were playing with the old Chamber before the buffs came in. For those of you who don't remember, Chamber received some buffs that weren't monumental, but were like nice little additions to Chamber. And I think that these nice little additions, particularly this trademark range increasing, that's the thing that really matters here for Chamber on Bind. And as many of you will know, Chamber's defensive side was still pretty good, as we'll see an example here from Boom versus One Team Esports in the Ascension for the Pacific League. And what you're going to see here is our Chamber. This is the newly buffed Chamber. It's going to put down their rendezvous just there. The Sova actually sends a dart out towards our Chamber, but our Chamber is just coming past it, still peeking out with the op, and manages to get the first kill. And of course, these kind of things with Chamber, as we'll see then our Chamber is able to escape, those kind of things can still definitely happen on this map. In fact, there's still a ton of good positions to put your rendezvous down on Bind. For instance, if I put one down here and I've got an op, I can come all the way up here and I can get on this line here, to spot down there and just op down this line. And I can still get out at a moment's notice, right? And be back to safety. Or if I want to play a bit more passive here, I can just put one there instead and, have a safer teleport away, but still very much be kind of the guardian of B long back here. So there's 2 good setups there. If we want to come in towards Hooker, we've got this to play very aggressively out towards Hooker, be it down here. We can even then start to walk up maybe, right? And get very, very aggressive all the way down here, right? If we got support maybe as well, and still get out nice and safe. We could go for a more safe Hooker version as well, where we put it maybe down here and just try and defend Hooker from this kind of space instead, right? All perfectly fine, and that's just the B site alone. Over towards the A site, obviously we can put it somewhere in towards lamps, anywhere back here of course, and start the guard towards short just there. We could get, again, pretty aggressive if we wanted to, come up here, potentially if we've got some support from teammates as well, right? This is a kind of nice angle to get aggressive with. And towards shower as well, we have options as well, be it up here, we could put it up the top there and then, come out towards shower and really, again, just completely own this space and get on this line back here and then TP up to a nice off angle as well, right? Nice little thing. Or if we want to play very passive on the site, we can even come and put one in towards heaven as well. And the one towards heaven, you can get on this box now and still look towards short just right here. And so, you still got a decent angle. And then when you TP away, you can get right back on it and potentially find that kill as well. What's more is that Chamber allows you to go for setups like this, a 4-1 setup instead of a 3-2 setup, right? Where maybe we're on an eco or something, right? And so we kind of want to stack a site. Our Chamber can just hold down, one site with the trademark and, just his rendezvous here on one side of the map. And then you can just have 4 people towards A, allowing you to go for potentially more varied setups where, maybe we get aggressive down here if we want to with the 4 players, or potentially we just hide on the site. Maybe we're on an eco, something like that, right? These are the kind of things that, again, Chamber is allowing us to do. But for me, the big thing that's changed is actually on the attack side, and it's the trip range. Because now, when we put the trip in the normal position, let's call this is the position where, they can't come past it either side. A nice little spot there for the Chamber trap. If we put it there, you can see that the range is now allowing us to kind of edge towards long. We can come into Hooker, we can come towards short, right? Before, this range cut off, something like this, right? Where we couldn't really go to long whatsoever, right? And we'd be pretty hampered in here towards short as well. It just didn't work that well, and you'd have to find different spots for it. But now, as we put it in some different spots, let's say we put it, for instance, like here, right? Now I can go to 3 of the lanes. I can come down Hooker if I want to. I can play in all of short. I can play down showers if I want to, and still be in range of this trip. That is a monumental change on this map, because now it opens Chamber up to actually be allowed to explore both sides of the map, rather than what used to happen, which is where, again, if I put a trip here, you know, it'd be looking like this, where, you know, again, I can't really go into Hooker. I probably can't go towards Shower either without this trip being disabled. And that obviously is a big problem. And if we come to the game again, Boom versus one team, we'll see this exact thing play out here in round number 8, where we've put our chamber trip just here. They're going to go for an A hit, and Boom in this round are actually going to go for a push outside of B, and they're going to come on this flank, right? So in goes the Skydog, in come the Smokes. It's actually quite a fast hit here from the chamber. In goes this Raze ult as well, and they're going to take the site. The Seekers come out from Boom here, from CT from the sky, and we're going to have the Brim ult to delay as well, you know, as these 3 come on the flank here. But, you know, as the Brim ult's coming in and stopping the spike from going down into, you know, the delay is coming, and so, you know, they're probably pretty worried here about, you know, players have already rotated and stuff like that. What you're going to see is as they get the spike down, eventually this Viper is going to come up here and the trip is going to get destroyed, right? And you'll see that then the reaction once this trip gets destroyed is you start instantly seeing players, you know, like the chamber here looking back, the sky, you know, starts to obviously know that this is a potential possibility and is starting to look back as well. And so you'll see from this point on that they're going to manage to win this round, one team, because that flank protection is there for them and they get that information. And oh, by the way, the chamber ult is now even better than it was, and it's pretty good.
But they have to figure something out to break through of this, because Famous, he still has a nade. He can throw it right then and there. So Winner has to hit the shot, or else it's going to be curtains for his teammate.
Oh!
And the Tour de Force, definitely a force to be reckoned with, as Winner is able to capitalize so well into things. Third, could have been the fourth, but Shiro finally puts a plug on that, but the damage has been done. And that's the 4 versus 1. And Shiro's just gonna have to just save the weapon here. And
but let's come to see what happens when you don't have that flank protection, because pretty much it's going to be very similar rounds to what we saw before, where this time, okay, one team are defending and they've got the chamber trip in towards short here, and they got the chamber here. But Boom, as you might have noticed, actually we're doing a similar sort of setup with a 1-4 setup here pushing out of B. That's pretty much what we're going to get here, but you can see instantly their Brim was in heaven from the very start and just completely not giving any contest to the site, just playing to delay with the Brim ult. That was their only role, right? Whereas our chamber can, you know, start to be a bit aggressive. You know, they've got the trip here with them as well, so, you know, they can know about what's going on here. You know, we can be a bit aggressive there. We can take this TP as well, right, as the chamber will retreat. The Skydog's going to come out here as well towards Shower. But you'll see that if you can guess right, you know, like they do here, one team, where, you know, it is going to be just that full A hit pretty early, they go on this very fast flank and they don't have any idea. So you see our chamber gets into position here with the TP, right? In comes the exec, but we actually have some, you know, contest here. So, you know, it perhaps takes them a bit longer to really fully clear things out. But already, you know, we've got this super fast flank and these guys have absolutely no idea. And you'll see they're about to get absolutely destroyed.
Is coming through on the other side. Blaze will be aware of it, but no! Can't quite win the duel. Xiao Yu still deadly and fatal. Picks up a quick double now. Pushing on forward still is going to be Xiao Shi as well. Despite the spike being planted, we don't have that many players left alive. In terms of HP too. Oh my god, just completely surrounded.